This is tnoozLIVE at Arival. We're here in Las Vegas, and I'm here with the SEO expert.
One of them, yeah.
One of them?
Yeah.
I would just say that, right? No. Introduce yourself real quick, and then let's get started.
Hey guys, I'm Andrew Shotland, the CEO and founder of LocalSEOGuide.com.
So you are helping tours and activities folks with SEO? Is that the general gist?
That is the general gist. We do SEO for basically anybody with a website, large or small.
And for tour suppliers, there's a lot of opportunities for SEO. Because if you have 100 tours or something, that's a lot of different touch points for potential.
That's right. It's as everyone seems to know, right, that your customers are doing a lot of research in Google before they would actually consider buying a tour or buying any service, that is. And so it behooves companies to get in front of those search queries so that they can capture the customer when they're in the research mode and then when they're in the ready to buy mode. And so we help companies think through, well, what are your customers searching for? How do you show up for those results? And what do you have to do on an ongoing basis to maintain those rankings?
Are there different strategies for the research part to the I'm ready to book side? You know, are those two different kind of approaches? Yeah,
in a way, so Google actually is pretty clever. They will show different types of sites for different types of queries. So let's say if I'm looking for best things to do in San Francisco, they're going to typically show a content site that is talking about reviewing things to do, schedule of events, that kind of thing. But if I'm looking for San Francisco tour guide or tour company or something like that, they're going to show a list of local companies who I can actually book a tour to. And then they might show some national companies like, say, Expedia or TripAdvisor or Airbnb or something like that. So they have a mix of companies. So they're trying to really gauge what's the primary intent based on the search query and then deliver content that's like, oh, they're ready to buy or they're just looking around.
So for those who are still wrapping their heads around SEO or constantly wrapping their heads around it because it's a constantly changing thing.
Yeah.
Mobile and SEO. Can you do SEO for mobile websites? Talk about that because sometimes there seems to be kind of some confusion that maybe that's not possible.
So you absolutely can. So the simplest is that you should have a website that's called responsive. So that would mean like the same page renders on a desktop as renders on a mobile device, the same URL. A lot of sites that are built a long time ago have separate mobile URLs and a separate experience, but those can be optimized too. Think about it that you should have pretty much as much of the same content on your mobile page as you have on your desktop page, with allowances that it needs a mobile user interface. Google's actually announced that over the next year they're going to be rolling out something called the mobile first index, meaning historically they've based their rankings on what's going on a desktop URL. And now they're going to say the primary basis for rankings is going to be what's going on your mobile URL. And we're not quite sure how that's going to work, but it basically means you should have a mobile-friendly site. It should be fast-loading, easy to use, and very clear about what the content is. And that's basically mobile SEO.
Right, and understanding what Google wants is part of the process.
Yeah, but just having a speedy mobile version of your site is like the #1 thing.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see, the obvious ones that maybe some of the viewers can fix quickly, or things maybe they're just not even thinking about when it comes to SEO optimization?
Some of the things you can do yourself, if you're a local company, meaning you have a physical location in your market, you want to claim your Google My Business page, which is Google's kind of yellow pages listing for your business, and categorize it correctly. And then make sure your name, address, and phone number is consistent all over the web. So like on yellowpages.com or Yelp, your profile is consistent and it's linking to the right page on your site. So if you're a San Francisco tour operator, your Google My Business page and your Yellow Pages page and your Yelp page should all link to your San Francisco page, not to your Oakland page, if that makes any sense.
So making sure the thread is consistent and that it doesn't break, they understand it.
Right, and you're pointing at the page, you're saying, hey, we're San Francisco. Like linking to your San Francisco page is like, we are San Francisco. Whereas when you're linking to your Oakland page and your address is San Francisco, they're like, wait a minute, are you Oakland or San Francisco? And you're confusing the machine, basically. So that'd be one thing. The other thing is to look at pages that rank pretty well for specific keywords. Like let's say tourism company in San Francisco. If you rank, let's say, on the top of page 2, for a very good keyword like that, that's a signal that you should be working on that page to improve it to make it rank higher. And a simple way of improving it is look at all the other pages that rank well for it and say, what words are they using? What phrases and concepts are they using? And can I add that to my page in a way that's coherent? And just doing that really simple thing can instantly move you up.
And these are competitor sites, so not your own site, just anybody for anything that you're looking to
rank for. Think about it. The Google, let's say it ranks 30 pages in a row for a certain keyword. They all are going to have common phrases that kind of are a signal of relevance to Google. Like if I can say, if you're a page about Manhattan, then chances are you're going to have the word New York City on that page too. And if you don't, then Google's going to be like, well, maybe you're really not about Manhattan. Maybe you're about Manhattan, Kansas instead of Manhattan, New York. So think about what we call co-occurrence words. What are the words that you should have on your page that would signal relevance for a concept, not just like if you want to rank for coffee cup, don't just say coffee cup, right? Say, I don't know, decaf or,
So the things around what you would do. So, if you're Las Vegas, maybe it's, the Strip or, kind of things that might just be affiliated.
And it really works. We do this kind of like artisanal fine-tuning optimizations on pages for clients sometimes. And you see like in 2 days, it starts to go like that.
Amazing.
But the problem is you have to keep like tweaking. But there's endless amounts of tweaks you can do. So, and I think what we see customers typically do is they throw up their hands because they don't know where to start. They're too busy doing their thing, like booking tours, and they haven't really budgeted the time to attend to these things. And we find it really, and it's because SEO is so black boxy to them, I think, and they're like, forget it. And yet these are the same people we see spend a ton of money on AdWords and a ton of time on AdWords. And basically, if you do SEO right, it subsidizes all the rest of your marketing channel.
That was my next question, is conversions, how SEO can help to get to that conversion point too.
Right.
So is it just making sure you're identifying those who have that shopping intent and making sure your content is the highest? Is that just the easiest way to convert the most, is to make sure that you're ranking the highest? Or on page, is there stuff that people should be doing on the booking page? Or?
Well, all the typical things you would do to optimize for conversion, right? Have a very clear call to action, a big phone number, a big form. Like those are things we see sites always, mistake. Like I'm like, where do I click? I don't even know. So really simple things. You don't have to do anything fancy. And there's all stuff you can of course test. But in terms of SEO, you're really trying to figure out where are you trying to hit the person in their, like, what is it, the customer journey? Are you in the research phase? There's a strategy for that. Are you in the buying phase? There's a strategy for that. And it's all around what are the words and try to figure out if they're ready to buy. And the best way to start is look at your AdWords campaign and see what words are converting the best on what pages. And then say, okay, well, I'm targeting, whatever, pot tours in San Francisco, and that converts really well. I should be doing an SEO campaign to target that so I can reduce my reliance on AdWords.
So it's smart. So then you have more costs to be able to deal with SEO. I like that.
Right.
We're going to let's close it out with kind of think about social media. Facebook talked a lot about becoming search engine, right? That they had the rankings, like social graphs and things like that. Is there an argument to be made about doing SEO type things on social media and making sure your posts have, I don't know, the Strip in Las Vegas tours, as you're sharing stuff? Or is that kind of not really happening?
I wouldn't put it as, so I wouldn't do all that social stuff for SEO. It could have an SEO benefit, I guess, but for the most part, you're doing SEO inside of Facebook, meaning it's not even SEO, it's like Facebook right? You're trying to figure out how to make things more shareable and more visible in Facebook. And there are things, as an example, Facebook has a local directory of businesses. Make sure you've claimed and updated that page. If your customers are on Facebook, you should probably look into putting a lot of content on Facebook and trying to get them to share that content. You probably want to try Facebook ads. Because those can be quite effective for certain niches. So Facebook has a whole optimization game plan. That whole Apple ecosystem does. Just on TripAdvisor, there's a whole game plan of how do you optimize inside of TripAdvisor. So it's kind of endless. It depends where your customers are and what platforms you want to be on.
I like to emphasize that a lot. Know where your customers are at first, and then go there, and don't just think I need to do everything and then get overwhelmed and do nothing.
Right. Like maybe you can spend all day long on TripAdvisor and forget about Google, Facebook, and everything, and you could kill it, right?
Or not. If no one's on TripAdvisor, you should be on Google, right?
Right. It's just like for e-commerce, people spend a lot of time optimizing their pages in Amazon to rank better for Coffee Cup, right? So it's just where your customers are, and The good thing for us, at least, is like everyone starts at Google for the most part. For now, we'll see if that changes.
It always changes, right? You got to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope the rest of the conference goes well. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
We're live at the Arival event in Las Vegas. We're about to take a couple-minute break with our sponsors, and we will be right back for more interviews.